Okay, so Chrissy says, and I quote, "They say in my IOP group that I will feel better sometime soon. I am always sad, tired, and feel like giving up. Help." So not so much of a question as a statement.
As it's kind of reaching out,
Yeah.
Like,
Something
Yeah.
I hear that frequently. Is I feel so bad
Yeah.
that when is this going to end? And
Yeah.
it's usually followed with, I say something like, "How long have you been sober?" And they'll say something like 3 days.
Yeah.
So
It's that short window of time, and I can only imagine like what Chrissy's thinking. This is recovery.
Right.
give me the drugs.
This is not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. It is worth it. It is totally. And what you're experiencing is a phenomenon that many people call it post-acute withdrawal syndrome. It could be some other things as well, and we'll go a little bit into that. But I think to normalize things a bit, this is part of how your brain heals after, you can imagine you're just throwing these toxic substances day in, day out at your brain tissue, and you finally stop. Great. And then the brain goes into kind of this healing mode, which involves a whole cascade of, inflammatory mediators and things like that. Much like if you've ever, like as a kid, maybe fall and scraped your knee, and and you get this kind of sore that starts healing, but initially it gets kind of red. It hurts if you touch it. That's kind of your brain tissue right now. It's healing. So I mean, that's just part of what happens. All kinds of things get disrupted, including sleep cycle. All your circadian, we call it day in, day out, kind of up and down of different hormones like thyroid hormone, cortisol level. So normally, when you're kind of healthy and doing well, that certain parts of the day these hormones peak in your body and then down. When your brain is kind of going through this healing phase and all these inflammatory mediators around, that kind of guns up the machinery kind of in the brain tissue, and it just takes a little bit of time for that to settle out. So that's kind of the normal to expect. Another thing to be aware of that's a possibility, and this is important to kind of just keep in your mind, that this may be the case. It may be sort of an underlying depression or anxiety that really never got kind of symptomatic. Because you're using drugs all the time, and always either high or withdrawal or whatever, there's chaos going on. So yeah, a lot of distraction from feelings and emotional states when you're active in addiction. So it may be that's present as well, and that's important to know, because it should really be targeted with specific treatments. Could be medications or types of psychotherapy. It's good that you're in an IOP program, because that, generally the structure and the sort of staff that man an IOP program will be able to, help decide and whether this is kind of the usual post-acute withdrawal syndrome, or, something underneath that may need a more kind of targeted treatment.
Well, I can say that as a recovering addict, I went through the same thing. And I can also say that now that I work in an IOP program, that you're absolutely right. And one of the things that it's very common to hear that.
Thanks for saying. I was hoping you'd disagree with me.
No. You're absolutely right. And I went through that, and for me it took a while, and I don't want to depress you, because it took a minute for me, but it doesn't mean it's going to take a long time for anyone else. It took me several months before I felt good more than I felt bad. But when I got sober, I felt bad, I want to say 80% of the time or more. And it was hard. But I did things like I would distract myself with exercise. I go a lot of bike riding, a lot of house cleaning, a lot of cleaning my car, playing with the neighbor's dog, just doing things to not feel bad.
And there's some great suggestions. Distracting yourself.
Sitting is the worst thing to do. Sitting around going like, oh, I feel horrible.
Sitting around alone.
Yeah. Oh, man,
that's
horrible.
That's getting out, mix up with some people. The exercise, a great idea.
Meetings.
Meetings, you know, absolutely. Well, I think that. Do you think we covered it for Chrissy? Or
Yeah, I think she has a good clinical view, and now she has some suggestions of things to do when she feels bad.
And I can't wait to get up to Freeport to try those muscles.
Yes, indeed. Chrissy, hopefully you work where we want to go.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. I am Roc.
And I'm Doc.
See you next time.